Yo, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make like emotional pain melodies for someone like Rod Wave or Lil Durk. Just before we start off with, I'm going to start working on the next kit. I've been putting a couple loops in there, but I really want to like up the quality control. So there's a couple loops in the last kit that I wasn't that happy with. But yeah, so that'll come out 3 weeks probably, and it'll have like 30 loops, no one shots, and then some like bonus midis or something. So look out for that. And also, probably next week or the week after, there will be a really detailed hyperpop video because I've kind of been taking a break from making hyperpop videos because I don't know, I've just been kind of on like a dark melody phase kind of thing and pain melody kind of. Alright, so to start off with, we're going to be using the mellow piano from Keyscape. I really like this one. Maybe switch it out for like the cinematic later. But something that I've been doing with my piano melodies lately is not making them like super duper chord heavy, like trying to make them really like soft and like almost like an arpeggio almost. So yeah, we're gonna try to do that. I'm gonna put the camera on my hands, figure something out. Yeah, and what I mean by like not super chord heavy is like having like super present chords, so it'd be something like that's cool, but I don't know, I've just not been liking that recently. So I'm gonna figure something out where it's more like something like that, and then I'm just gonna go ahead, mess around, and see what I come up with, and it'll probably sound decent. And then go in and like tweak velocities and add more notes after. Alright, so I think I got something in there that will sound decent enough just to kind of like mess around with after. So I'm going to go up here to tools and then dump score log the last 2 minutes because I wasn't like actually recording. And then I'm going to find which one of these takes I liked, which I'm pretty sure was this one. I'm going to go ahead and just delete the other ones. And then listen through to this, pick a different pitch, mess with the velocities. Yeah. And I'm going to slightly quantize this, but I'm going to hold Alt so it doesn't stick to the grid, so it still feels like a real person is playing the piano and not just like a MIDI. And then do the slice tool and right click instead of left click to just cut off the excess. Lower the velocity on that last chord just because it's a little harsh. And then I know I played some note in here that I really liked, so I'm going to go ahead and listen for that and then add it in the section we're actually going to keep. Alright, so it was that F sharp going to the D sharp, so I'm going to remember that and maybe use that as like an ending thing. So alright, so this is going to be pretty much the base of it. So now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the bass notes down. Normalize the velocities, bring them to about halfway, and then duplicate them down again, bring it down about a quarter. So just so it seems really dark, and you almost get kind of that chord feeling, but it still feels really like soft and bouncy kind of thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and start to work on the high notes. So just kind of like layering this with something just so it feels more full, because that's just like 3 bass notes playing and there's no really high end there. And then raise those velocities just a tad, and then Alt R to randomize, just so it's a little bit not as like steady of a velocity. And then go ahead and copy this over, and then copy the whole thing over, because this will be like just the chord part. And what I've been doing is having like a complex top melody here and then just leaving it blank here. So there's just more room in the melody in one section, so I can like switch it out and stuff in the arrangement. And I think I'm gonna pitch it up to A. Right here, I hear that this is still way off time, so I'm just gonna bring it over and then recopy over this bit, and then start to figure out some kind of top. So I'm just gonna play around and then find some notes that I like, and then go ahead and click those in, because I don't know how to record on top of a pattern that's already like there, because it always like deletes itself and it's so weird. I like this first section, but this C doesn't sound right, so maybe I'll move it back down to that G sharp. And I said this on stream, but one of my favorite tips for counter melodies, or like melodies in general, is humming it out in your head. That really helps me a lot. Alright, so I think that's pretty cool, so I'm going to go ahead randomize that just a little bit, just so there's a little bit of like randomization. And then also go ahead Alt S and strum, just because some of the things we have are clicked in and not actually played in, so it'll make it more realistic. Yeah, so I really like the way that's sounding, and then just to make it to sound a little bit cooler, I'm pretty sure I said this in the video that should come out on today, Monday. But going here, going to section A, and adjusting this, bringing it down about to there, it'll just like detune it, give it like a little bit of a cooler feeling. And then I'm going to go ahead and load in Boo Bass just for now, because I know I'm going to use it later. But then go back into Omnisphere and grab some kind of electric piano or Rhodes. I found a really cool one yesterday that I might want to use again. So I went here, went to Keyscape Library, Electric Pianos, and I'm pretty sure it was the Planet M. Yeah, so it's the Planet M phaser, and I'm going to use that kind of as a Rhodes, even though it's more of like an electric piano. But then I'm just going to copy the bass notes. And I'm just gonna add some like little accent notes, I guess, and then lower the velocity on those. So like these two at the end right here, and then this one. Just lower the velocities, then strum everything, and then randomize it. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then later on, we'll throw a lot of reverb on that, and it'll sound really nice and ambient. Yeah, now we can go in with the boo bass that we loaded up earlier. Go back to the bass notes, but then just click in a bass pattern that just kind of sounds cool. Try to make it kind of like groovy and bouncy. I don't really know what else, like other words to describe it as. And then move that down to copy, and then that too, and then also that. I think I want to do like a little. Alright, so I like what we got going on here so far, but I do not like this little section. I think it sounds cool, but I don't think it really like ties into the other melody. I think it's like its own thing, but I want everything to be like together. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this back. And then I'm gonna go here because I put it back down to D sharp minor, but I know that G sharp minor sounds good for these kind of melodies. So if I go +5, it'll be there. Yes, that sounds really crazy. I really like the way it like sounds when it's a little bit of a higher pitch. So next, I think I want to go back into Omnisphere, grab another piano. Probably the softest one. I like using this one. But I'm gonna do like sections of the top line and like kind of like accent them. And then this will have like pancake and a reverb on it probably. And it'll sound really cool and just kind of sit in the background. Probably two more sounds maybe. And I'm gonna grab a one shot. I know which one I want. I always forget what pack it's in. I think it's the Travis Scott one. Yeah, I like to use the Goosebumps bell. And I just found this pack on Reddit. I like to layer it in the place where the claps would be. That's something I've been doing a little bit recently too. So it'd be like here, here, just wherever the claps are. And then on the last one, I'll do a double hit. And I'll put a delay on this so that last one will sound really cool. And then I think for the last sound, I'm gonna find either some kind of Tron or a string, something that I can just do like a high-end sort of melody for when the top line piano part isn't in. So I'm gonna grab this preset and just mess around. Yeah, and then I'm gonna use this as a bass pattern and then make like half chords, I think, and also do some like little accent things down here. And this again will just sit in the background because I've been trying to make myself stick to like 3 main sounds and then do like 2 or 3 other sounds that are just like strictly like ear candy and they just sit in the back. So the melody feels really complex, but overall it feels more simple than if I were to do like 10 counter melodies or whatever. Yeah, so I like these little half chords. I don't like this little choppy boy at the beginning though. Yeah, so I just switched up this last little section so it's a little bit different. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this melody wise. There's going to be some interesting mixing stuff with these 3 sounds. But like I said, I have 3 main sounds that really like contribute to like the base of the melody. And then these 3 sounds are pretty much just ear candy and they'll sit in the background. Feel a little bit more simple, but still be fairly complex. Alright, so I just finished the mixing. On the main piano, I have just a cut on the lows, a reverb imager. On the Rhodes Planet M electric piano, I have the same EQ, ambience instead of normal reverb, magic switch, which is a free chorus plugin, and then an imager. On the background, like high-end piano, I have Fruity Blood Overdrive, which is like a distortion, an ambience, and then a pancake on the larger preset. Change the LFO to 4 bars. On the Goosebumps bell, I just have reverb and a ping pong delay. Then on the string, I have this EQ, reverb, magic switch again, and then the tape cassette plugin with the wow and the flutter turned up and the noise turned all the way down. And then on the bass, I just boosted the low end. All right, so now we can get into the arrangement. So I'm just gonna cut it down the middle, get rid of this, move this up, and mute that, lay everything else out, and then place the piano with no top line in as I see fit. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and speed run this because I kind of already know what I want it to sound like. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty much it for the arrangement. Go ahead, record this out, pitch it down 1 probably, and then add some kind of crinkle effect. Or now we can go here, normalize this, and then pitch it down. Yeah, so down 1 sounds pretty cool. So then we are in G minor. And then I'll go into my kit and grab the crinkle. And then just lower the volume. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the video. I think the melody turned out decent. I don't know. I feel like I could have used with a little less reverb on the one accent piano. But yeah, overall pretty solid, I think. I'm thinking about doing a kind of interesting video in 2 weeks, so look out for that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a great rest of your day. Here's the final melody.